Deep Dive with David Stendhal, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey, it's David Stendhal with tonight's Deep Dive. It is July 10th, 2018. I thought I'd take a look at wheat today. The ETF is WEAT. Now, that's on the long side. Not really going to help us so much with the market today since we're going to be looking at it from the short side. Pretty strong down move in wheat today. But what we have here is a mixed bag. You can see this little asterisk here. There's a mixed bag when it comes to the technical trends, and it's the short term that is really pronounced here. We have the technical rating, which is negative, and it's the support level. This is the key to my presentation tonight for the deep dive. Nothing really else is showing up here on any of the overbought, oversold type conditions. You'll see here that here is wheat, and there's lots that we could be talking about, but there's nothing showing up here when it comes to wheat. But when we do take a look at the market itself, it's the support and resistance levels that I really want to be talking about here today, because there's a cool graphic that I haven't talked about in a while, and I just want to kind of rehash some of that. So we broke below this line right here, 200-day moving average, part of the key here. Not that it hasn't broken above and below that particular level all that frequently, but the fact is that it did break below there. And there's a couple of major levels here. Here's one straight back here that you might say, it's out of nowhere. Why are you picking out that particular support level? Well, you'll understand here in a second when we look at another graphic. So you can see that there is some support to the low of today. If we're able to break this low, and having broken below the 200-day, let's theoretically say that it's going to continue to the downside, we have some support below this level that's just beginning to build out. The next level down is straight over here, which goes to these lows over here. The specifics on that number is 477 and 7/8. So we'll just call it 471 for the most part, this level right here. And then the next level below, we've got some major support here when we've got all of this over here and this one. And so I'll just simply call it the 452 and 5/8 level straight down here. It's sort of almost connected to this one right here, but this being a little bit closer to where we are, that's why I use that one first. So where are all these numbers coming from, and why are you arbitrarily selecting some of these numbers? Well, we have this great graphic that I don't always talk about, but it's our upside and downside target levels. So here is today's close right through here. That 490, that was that level where the market was, for the most part, I arbitrarily kind of picked this level right here. Well, it is being picked up, and this is the level, the 490 and 3/8 level, which is where the low was today. Now, if you were looking at the market and you're going back in time, you would not necessarily have looked at this one, but the graphic does pick up on these things, and what it does is it looks at three different time frames. We've got the weeklies, long-term, the dailies, intermediate, and then we have intraday setups as well. And what we're trying to do is to find key levels. So if we have a S, that stands for strength, and the C, that stands for count. You can see it down through here. So the next level down, which a little more pronounced, we don't have this line through it, we have S 179. So the strength is 179, which is pretty strong. And between all these different time frames, we have a count of 4. So the 482 level, that is major support. If we're able to break that level, then the next level down is 471 and 3/4, where we have a strength of 59 and a count of 2. And this is the thing that I want you to be looking at. It's this gap. This is where we have a support gap to the market. So we're sitting on this support level right now. Not super strong because it's only got a strength of 10 and a count of 1. But this 482 level, that one is strong. Now this is a combination, as I said, of intraday, daily, and end of day, or excuse me, and weekly systems or time frames all combined together to come up with this number. So this one is very, very strong. So the 482 level, obviously there's some decimals here, but the 482 level is the key thing. Then we come down to 471 and 3/4, and then there's this gap. So if the market is able to break below the level that we're at right now, we cursor all the way across, then we come down to this level here, right through here, this 43. The 43 represents 43 bars in which the market has been able to find some stability. Then we have these other levels here where we have some major gaps that I'm trying to at least give you some insights as to what numbers you should be looking at. And whenever you get these big gaps here, that's where the market can act like a warm knife through butter. It cuts through it so smoothly, and that there's a lot of money to be made. Now, we've got levels we have to go through before we get to that, and the market get peter out, at any point along the way. But if there's continued sell-off here, then there's an opportunity here for some really good money to be made. Now the systems right now, we've got two systems. We've got a daily system and a 240-minute bar system, both of which are short. One we just got in yesterday, so we got a nice little profit per contract basis, 825. The other system has been long since late May, obviously, so we've been in this one for quite some time. So overall, we're doing pretty well with our position. And there's an opportunity here that if we break through some of those support levels that I've been talking about and can get into that support gap area, that it could work out quite nicely for us. The other thing I'm just going to show to you is we always grade all of our markets, and I've done this one before, but when you pull up any of these markets, and I've done them by sectors, but here are the grain sectors. Corn is a little more difficult to trade in comparison to soybeans, which has been a phenomenal market as of late. Wheat is typically one of the better markets to trade. When you look at it on the screen, you might say that it's wheat in particular is a little more erratic than would be corn, but the strength to that is that a lot of systems, at least our systems, and that's what this is based upon, are looking for those quick spurts to the market. And when you get those types of conditions, then it's get in, get out, take some money, live to trade another day. So wheat is one of the better markets for our systems, and most likely for the vast majority, since I'm an ex-CTA, for the vast majority of the traders that design trading systems, they'll all probably fall within this area that wheat is one of the better markets, at least in comparison to corn. They're all good, but I like to at least rank them and look for stability over time. So keep that in mind, that wheat is setting up for some nice potential. Obviously, I've shown that we're short, and if we're able to get this market to fall to some of these other key levels, this level being 470 and 7/8, and this is just on daily bar basis, and then this one over here is the 452 and 5/8. Obviously, I was showing some support and resistance that will incorporate weeklies and intraday support levels as well, but at least from this perspective, gives an idea as to if the market is able to continue to sell off, then you've got at least some targets to look at. And with the systems are short and taking advantage of this type of a condition, just trying to give you some ideas to where the theoretical levels could be for the market. So having said all of that, the other thing I want to point out, at least in tonight's deep dive, is that I've added some signal insights. These are insights into our website, and what I'm attempting to do is take questions from clients saying, I don't understand this, or could you explain this a little bit more? And so this is going to be a major undertaking on my part to put together a ton of different videos. And so I'm putting this out, I think, a little prematurely, but nonetheless something that as soon as I add more and more into this, that there'll be some great contacts. So where you find this is go under membership, signal insights, and then what you'll see is that I've broken down these videos that I'm going to be doing into 4 different areas, track A, B, C, and D. So market perspective, these are videos that we're going to be doing that will sort of get a feel for what kind of a market are we trading. I talked about wheat versus corn with the grading of the systems, that there are personalities to the systems, and I'm going to start to put, there's none on here, but I'm going to start to put some videos out there that will be related to perspective on the markets. Educational track B, market focus, these are tools that are up there that tell you now you should be looking at a particular market. There are different assets we have on the website that will tell you when you should be at least considering a market. So seasonals and the watch lists and things of that nature. So there's only one that's up there right now. It just kind of gives an overview to the seasonal trading process. Then track C, trading plan. These are some of the tools, the deep dives and some of the different tools that we have where we're talking about patterns or some overbought, oversold type conditions. How do you use them? What do they look like? How to interpret them? Then what we have one that's up here, which is for the surge high, and then there's only one that's up there under C, and then under D we have trade evaluation, where we're going to start to look at a lot of evaluation tools. How do you design systems? How do you evaluate those systems? How do you interpret the evaluation of those things? And so this is going to be a major undertaking on my part to put together. Probably have a list of 55, almost 60 videos that I want to do, and it's going to take some time to do it, but at least what I'm doing is putting that information out there, again, prematurely. You come to membership, come to Signal Insights, and slowly over time, I'm going to start to fill in these 4 categories, A, B, C, and D educational tracks. And there's only 2 that's up there, one with the trading process for seasonals and the surge high, Pro Alert. Those are the only ones that are up there right now, but the intention is to do 1, maybe 2 a week. So it's going to take some time to put this information together. But the good news is that begun that particular process, and if there's one that you want to see, something that you really want explained, I use a lot of jargon. There's some certain things that are out there. A person might say, I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, just go to contact on our website and fill in this information. Just send me an email saying, hey, can you explain this? And then what I'll do is, of those 55 or 60 that I've listed out there that I'm going to be doing, what I can always do is move one of those up the list. Most likely I've already anticipated that you're going to have some questions on a particular subject or whatnot, but if I have it on the list, I'll move it up in the list so I can do it sooner. Or if there's a question that I haven't anticipated, which are always good as well, then you at least send me a message, and what I can do is add it to the list and try to get it up onto the site as quickly as possible, because I want people to really understand that my terminology, and every trader has different terminology. Just depends upon who they traded with when they were coming up, and in how they kind of view the markets. We all have our own idiosyncrasies when it comes to that, but what I want to be able to do is to sort of explain some of those things and make sure that you're getting the full value from the website, so that you can really appreciate what is a surge high, what is an earthquake. Weird terms, I realize, but how do you interpret that information, and how would one use that in their day-to-day trading? Those are the types of things we're going to be doing. So in any event, if you have questions, send those to me, and what I'll do is slowly start to put them under the Signal Insights, and be able to send that information off to people, and be able to sort of keep them in the loop, and hopefully they'll appreciate what it is that we're trying to do here with our interpretations of the market, and how we can hopefully help you to improve your day-to-day trading. So with that, I appreciate it, and we will take a look at another market tomorrow.